Jesus has what I would consider to be a rather odd encounter. Now, that's really nothing new to Jesus. He had several odd encounters in His life. People who are demon-possessed running up to Him, people who have medical problems coming up to Him, even though they're not supposed to approach anyone. Jesus was the person whose life was defined by the word odd. He really was an odd person, and He really did have some odd encounters. However, I think this one might get the gold. Jesus sees a man who is demon-possessed, so much so that when Jesus asks his name, He really doesn't give a name, He gives a description. He says, Legion, in verse 30, because many demons had entered him. Legion, meaning many. Now, what's so interesting and what's so odd about this story is not the fact that it's a demon-possessed man coming to Jesus. What's so interesting and odd about this story is that Jesus finds this person living among the tombs, according to verse 27. He's a living man in a dead place. He's naked. He can't be contained. The possession of his demons has caused him to be incredibly dangerous, and people were afraid of him. Now, it's odd for Jesus to be walking among the tombs and to see a naked person who is demon-possessed. But it doesn't seem like Jesus bats an eye at this. It seems that Jesus just asked him a very simple question. In verse 30, what is your name? But he doesn't answer. The demons do, and they say, Legion, for we are many. In verse 31, they know the power of Jesus. They seem to know who Jesus is because they beg Him so that He will not cast them into the abyss. And so Jesus casts these demons into a herd of pigs. Now in verse 33, the demons came out of the man, they entered the pigs, and the herd rushed down a steep bank into the lake and drowned. After this, after the demons had left this man, one would think that things would be incredibly better, that everything is going to be fine, because that's how we read Jesus, that Jesus does something, everything gets better, and so there we are. But that's not exactly what happens. When we read our Bible and we read accounts like this, perhaps we should try to put ourselves in the shoes of the characters that are there. When this happens, the demon-possessed man, we never get his real name, the demon-possessed man asks Jesus, he begs Jesus that he might stay with him. In verse 38, it says, the man from whom the demons had gone begged that he might be with him. But Jesus sent him away, saying, return to your home and declare how much God has done for you. And he went away proclaiming throughout the whole city how much Jesus had done for him. Now this seems like a regular story. There's a problem. Jesus fixes the problem. The one with the problem goes away and tells everybody. Standard story. But let's put ourselves in the shoes of the demon-possessed man. Because believe it or not, we are already there. So many times in our life, we find ourselves being living people in dead places. Paul tells the Ephesians, in his letter to the Ephesians, in chapter 2, that they were dead in their trespasses and sins. If we are not in Christ, we are dead in our trespasses and sins. Our heart may be beating, we may be taking in oxygen, our brain may be functioning, but we're dead. So we're living people in dead places. And we're in these dead places because of our so-called demons. The things that are keeping us from Jesus. The things that are keeping us from everyone else. But notice in verse 30 that Jesus asked him a very simple question. He says, "What is your name?" When Jesus asks us that question, He's not necessarily asking, what do you like to be called? Do you have a nickname? Do you have a middle name that you go by? Jesus is asking us, who are you? Who are you? And we can answer that in a number of ways, but the answer that Jesus wants is, I am a chosen child of yours. I'm part of your body. I've been washed by your blood. You have worked in my life to cast the demons out. That is what the answer Jesus is wanting. And Jesus will work in our lives to take those things that are keeping us from Him and move them away. Jesus will take our demons, if we can call them that, and He will help us work through those. He'll cast them over and make them no more. And while we may see Jesus working in our life and we may say, you know what, Jesus, I don't want to do anything but be here with you. I just want to be locked up with your word. I just want to be praying all the time. Jesus says those are good things and I appreciate your desire, but He tells us the same thing He told the demon-possessed man here in chapter 8 of Luke's Gospel. Go home and tell everyone what God has done for you. Now imagine this demon-possessed man. He's been in the cemetery. He's a living man in dead places. He's demon-possessed. He's been chained and he's broken these chains. He's without clothing and now he's told to go home. How do you think people back home would look at him? Probably not too favorably. But he does anyways. And he proclaims through the whole city, verse 39, how much Jesus has done for him. If you are a Christian, if you are a saved person of God, we have a story to tell. We need to be proclaiming in our world, in our city, in our homes, in our neighborhoods, in our schools, everywhere that there are people, what Jesus has done for us. That may make us look weird. That may make us look odd. But if a demon-possessed man can go back home and tell what Jesus has done for him, so can we. I hope you'll do that. I hope that you'll remember this story and that you will let Jesus work in your life in a way where your demons can be part of your life no more. And we'd love to help you with that here at Salem Creek. We hope that you'll contact us, and if you have a need to be baptized into Christ, if you have prayer requests, that you would let us know. We love you. I hope you have a great day.